clear mission.
Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for watching all of my videos and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, and GunGuyTV in general. So that you know, with YouTube having made such a mess of itself a few months ago, we decided to distribute GunGuyTV on all of these places. So you can look at any of those places and you should find GunGuyTV there. In some places like Dailymotion and BitChute, as well as YouTube, the entire channel has been copied. We're working on that right now with Facebook and Vimeo. And as we find other distribution channels, we'll be doing that as well, so that GunGuyTV does not go away, even though YouTube sometimes might want us to. So we're still on YouTube. I'm grateful for that. But we are these other places too. Make sure that you check those out, and I would ask you to subscribe there in case something happens to us on YouTube, and then you can always find GunGuyTV in these other places. That works out pretty well. Now, the other thing is that with YouTube particularly, and other channels as well, we are not allowing them to advertise on GunGuyTV. I don't like the fact that by virtue of that, they can try to put the screws to us, as YouTube has done, so we don't let them do that anymore. That means we do have a couple of affiliate relationships and ways that you can support us, but pretty much we are viewer supported. Otherwise, it all comes out of my pocket, and I'm not a wealthy man. So if you'd like to support us, you can do that on Patreon. If you don't want to do Patreon, that's fine. You can use our Amazon link, for example, to do your Amazon shopping. Doesn't cost you a dime, but that way, every time you make a purchase on Amazon, we get a little bit of a commission, and that certainly helps us out as well. Now, Patreon's very consistent, and Amazon's up and down, but nevertheless, we're very, very grateful for any help that you give us. So you can find the links to those things in the description, and maybe not the Amazon link. I don't think YouTube will let us do that, but some of them will, and if not, just go to our website. There'll be a link there for that, and then you can go to our website and click on the Amazon banner that you see on the top, and that'll take you to the Amazon link as well. All right, that's enough about that. What I wanted to talk to you about today was the Core Essentials gun belts. If you've watched the channel at all, you know that I use one, and they sent me one. Boy, I'm going to say it was at least a year ago, and maybe two. I don't remember, and I got a case of the stupids. I should have looked at the video to find out and date it before I came out here. And this is the belt that they sent me, regardless of how long ago. It was some time ago. This is the belt they sent me. I really have had great luck with it, and I've liked it a lot. There have been a couple of issues that have come up, and as you can see, they've sent me a new one, as you can see, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I've had a couple of things come up with this one. One, after I had it for quite some time, one of the pins came out of the buckle, so the buckle didn't function anymore, and I contacted them. They were really nice about it. They said if I sent them the buckle back, they'd replace it or fix it or whatever. And I thought, well, that's kind of a pain in the butt. And so I don't want to do it. So I came out in the shop and I found this screw that fit, and I just put a screw in it, put a sheet metal screw in it. And so far, I mean, it's been there. The sheet metal screw's been there a long time, and it works great. And as you can see, you can't tell that the screw's there when looking at the front of the belt anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And it still works beautifully. So the only mechanical issue I've had with it, or only failure, if you want to call it that, of the belt, has been that particular screw where I had to put a screw in it because a pin fell out. The pin just dropped out one day. Now, after a while, like anything else, it does wear out. You can see on the back here where the buckle or the belt itself has worn out and the material started to break down, and whatever the stiff element inside has started to break. And if you're wondering why at that particular place, that's because I have a rather robust case for my phone. I got tired of breaking phones, and it clips on my belt. And because it clips on my belt and snaps on and off my belt all day, then what it's done is it's worn the belt out, and that's all that is. What I'm encouraged by, though, is that on the opposite side, which is where I would carry my gun and where I do carry a gun every day, the belt still has its springiness. It's still stiff. It still holds the gun up perfectly. In fact, I was just wearing this particular belt the other day, and it still works really, really well. So other than the damage that I've done to it by clipping things on and off with my phone, the belt is still very functional. And of course, as I said, I did have the one issue with the pins. Now, they tell me that they've made the pins stronger as a result. Apparently, maybe I wasn't the only person that had that problem. And they sent me a different look of the belt, a newer one. Now, this one, unlike the original that they sent me, which was meant to be a dress belt and looked like leather, I don't know if it is leather, but it certainly looks like leather, and I liked it a lot. They sent me one that looks like webbing. Now, I don't know that it is webbing, because when you look on the inside, it doesn't look like webbing. So I suspect that it isn't, and it's just a covering, and that it has the same sort of stuff inside that the other one did to make it stiff. And as you can see, let me close it up here a little bit, it is just really stiff. And one of the things I look at in a gun belt is I want to see if it returns to its shape, if it holds its shape no matter what I did to it. And the reason for that is that when you have a gun belt, if you're carrying a gun like I do, I carry a gun every day and I have for decades, the weight of the gun wants to pull the belt away from you like that. And if you're just wearing a standard belt, what happens is you keep cinching your belt up tighter and tighter and tighter until you can't breathe because you're trying to pull the gun up. It keeps hanging out kind of in the wind. Well, a gun belt won't do that because it has a certain amount of rigidity designed specifically to hold up the weight of that gun or the weight of the mag on the other end or whatever else you've got attached to that belt. These belts do that really, really well. And I've been very happy with this one. It's just, it's old and it's starting to fall apart, sort of like me. You know, when stuff gets old, it does that. And again, like I said, they've made the pins stronger. Although, in all honesty, I got to tell you, if you go like that, there's still a lot of wiggle in the pins. So maybe the pins are stronger, but this is the same type of wiggle that was in the original buckle, and the pin fell out. Now, I should tell you, only one of the two pins fell out, so maybe it was just a problem with that one. And we'll see. You know, I've been wearing this one for, I don't know, a week or two, maybe two. And so far, so good. I like it a lot. It does everything the other one does. One of my favorite things about these belts is the ratchet. You said, what? It's called a track line belt because it's got this track in it. And the belt buckle down here ratchets on that track, and that's how you adjust it to make it tighter or looser. And you can, if I hold it close enough to the microphone, maybe you can hear it ratchet. And then when you want to release it, you push this little tab and just slide it off. And, you know, that's kind of nice because I'm half Italian. If I have my wife makes a big meal and I'm feeling a little bigger than I was a few minutes ago. It's nice to be able to release the belt a little bit so you can breathe. And then later on, when you return to semi-normal, you can push it back in a little bit if you want. I like the minute adjustment of the ratchet, which is very, very cool, where if you have a belt that just has a belt hole every so often, for the buckle to hook into it, then you don't have that fine an adjustment. So these are very neat for that. And like I said, they're extremely strong. The other thing too is that if you have a belt that has those belt holes and you don't carry a gun all the time, by the time you put the gun on and you put the mag on or you put other things on, what happens is it pushes the belt out a little bit because you got stuff on the inside of your holster and other things. It's just moving the belt out just a little bit, and you need a little bit more fine adjustment to be able to wear the belt the way you would normally wear it, because now you have objects that are taking up some space on the interior of the belt. So the fact that this has this ratcheting track makes it very, very positive. So I got to tell you, I really like the design, and as you can tell, I've worn this belt out because I've literally worn it every day, with rare exceptions, since they gave it to me. And now I'm wearing this one every day, and I'm probably going to order, just so you know I like them enough, I'm probably going to order another dressy one so that I've got one when my wife and I are dressed a little nicer and I don't look like the vagabond I normally look like. So there you are. There's the track line belt from Core Essentials. It is an outstanding belt. As I said, the only trouble I've ever had with it, really, that was the belt's fault, if you want to call it that, was the pin that fell out. And I took care of that with the screw. And they've told me, you know, Scout's honor, if you will, or whatever, that they've strengthened those pins so that doesn't happen anymore. So if that's the only problem, then there you go. Now, this one I've just worn out from use. I don't care what you buy. You're going to wear it out eventually. So I don't hold that against the belt or the design or the manufacture of it. And one thing that makes that really clear is you can see, even though this is worn out, the stitching has not. Now that says something. When the stitching doesn't wear out and the stitching doesn't start coming out, even though you've worn out the face of the material and worn off some other things, that means the belt was built very, very well. And I still wear this one. It's just starting to fall apart, so I think I'm going to get another one. Well, there you go. Check them out. The link is in the description for the Core Essentials trackline belts. They make a whole lot of them, so you can kind of find the version or the color or the look that you're desiring to go with whatever your dressing lifestyle is. But I can highly recommend them. They're very, very good belts. I've now worn one for, I don't know, a year or two or more, and been very happy with them. And certainly I'm very happy to get the new one. I apologize, I should have gotten to it for review's sake earlier. It's just been kind of slammed and at work and with other stuff, and I haven't had a chance. But we're starting to catch up. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. Look for more stuff. I got a really cool California compliant magazine that I'm going to have a review on here in probably the next couple days, which is extremely cool, and I have a feeling you're going to like that. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great week. Please stick with us, and don't forget to support us if you would like to. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again. Be safe.